talk about the official Comic-Con Trivia for Chocolate panel, or do you want to call it match? No, competition on Friday, July 22nd at 5 p.m. And I'm with Tom Galloway.
Certainly, if you wander over the Omni, someone will be able to point you at the right place once you're on the right floor there.
They're asking questions and they're handing out chocolate. Go.
or,
So
or,
yes,
or, or, or for the pros, that way.
exactly. So this, as you were telling me just beforehand, this trivia for chocolate has existed at sci-fi conventions for a long time. Correct?
I'd say definitely over a decade, maybe two at this point. I believe it originated. It was either at a World Science Fiction Convention or at Boscone in Boston. And the idea that some people had who were trivia buffs were just to stand up in front of the stage, read off rapid fire science fiction trivia questions, and the first person to yell out the correct answer that they recognized had a piece of chocolate, usually an Andes mint, thrown at them. We can't throw chocolate at you. The convention explicitly outlaws that for some reason.
Didn't we discover that? Because the first time we did this as trivia for chocolate was the last time there was an in-person Comic Con, the
Yes.
50th anniversary. So yes, they did. I remember very specifically being told we could not throw chocolate. There was concern we were going to ignore them and throw chocolate anyway. To which I say, I can't throw. But anyway,
Now, just a reference, by the way, as I mentioned, the key rule is first person to yell out the correct answer gets a piece of chocolate thrown to them. There is the Galloway rule, which I did not make up, but which was added because of me. If let's say I ask a question and I get crickets, no one knows the answer, and someone decides to be a smartass and yell out what they think is a funny answer. Any resemblance to me at all there? And if the answer is judged not funny enough by the people running it, you have to give a piece of chocolate back.
and which, by the way, I think we are the people running it. So we get there's a couple of other people will be involved as well, but so we get to be the judges, and that is interesting. We also, I think, discovered that really we needed to have like almost an I don't know if I'm going to say an under 12 round, but an under 15 to make sure that
Mm-hmm.
kids who, be honest, their metabolisms are better equipped for chocolate than ours, that they get a shot at answering these
Yeah.
questions, right?
Assuming there's a reasonable number of kids in the room, I've got a special set of questions that aren't quite as hard as the rest, and we can say, okay, for the next 10 or 20 questions, these go very fast. We're going to limit it to the under whatever set.
Yeah. So for someone watching this who didn't attend before, do you remember a sample question from the last one we did that so they
Um,
can kind of gauge a
this
sense of
this would be in
difficulty?
the upper level of difficulty in general. But we did have one. I tend to go in sort of phases. So, for example, one category or categories. One category was number, please, where all the answers were numbers. And to give an example, one of them was Hal Jordan's Green Lantern's space sector, which of course is 2814.
Of course, but every
But
schoolboy knows that.
now the thing is, there are people in the room who will know that. There are a lot of more people who go, what? But
Right.
the idea is, I mean, we also have ones like I'm just trying to think of a good other number one that was relatively easy. Ooh, damn! I'm think my mind immediately starts thinking of trick questions there. um,
And we did evolve this panel out, I should say, even though the format came from science fiction. Your placement here, this slot, which is odd because normally it has been the last panel of the day on Sunday. We kind of
uh,
closed out the convention. Now we're on a Friday night, or Friday evening, which is very interesting. But this did come out of the pro fan trivia
yes.
match. So I remember there had been some conversation. Uh, for those again who did not know, that was usually the pros were led by Len Wein, sometimes by
Always led by Lynn.
always,
In fact, the
always led
match
by,
itself, the match itself was actually Lynn's idea.
and occasionally there were some fantastic pros playing, so some fantastic fans too. But it's I remember that after we had done a memorial one for Len, we had thought that perhaps this would continue, and you decided on this format instead. Why was that?
Um, I mean, part of it was, like I say, the original pro fan match was Lynn's idea. The short version of that is Comic Con used to have a sort of quiz bowl, college bowl type trivia tournament for teams of 4, open to everyone. And Usenet Rec Arts Comics started fielding a team, and we sort of started beating everyone by increasingly larger margins over a 3-year period. And after the third time of us winning 3 in a row, that is, the organizer, Jim Hay, said, okay, I'm going to ban you guys because I want someone else to win next year. Promptly half the team turned traitor and said, no, we've only been on it for 2 years. Only Tom and David have been on it for all 3 years. And so he said, okay, you two are banned. Lynn was on one of the teams that we had beaten, and to his credit said, hey, why don't we have another one next year as well? And I'll get a team of pros together. You get 2 more people who aren't going to stab you in the back, and we'll have a pro fan match. And that's how the whole thing started.
As far as I know, there was no backstabbing involved. So, this is good. It's a good way to carry it on, even though, yes, it is not the format it used to be. Everything evolves. And I think it's interesting because, I said this is, we've been 2 years without a Comic-Con in person. So I don't know if they're changing the number. Speaking of numbers, do we call this the 51st, or do we call it, is it 51st with an asterisk because there were 2 virtual cons? I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see how many. I think there's a lot of comics panels coming, a lot of creators being honored. Be interested to see, how much true comic fans we get back into this. I see the studios trying to creep back in and make it the celebration of the popular arts, as San Diego likes to call it. So if you are a fan and you want to come and you want some chocolate, this is just an artist representation or a photograph of generic chocolate behind me. Here. So give us the rules. How people, because now I feel like a carny. How do people build up to these grand prizes?
Okay. Like I said, the basic idea is I will say something like, the category is number, please. All the answers, until I tell you otherwise, are going to be numbers. And then I'll just start, I or Derek or one of our other helpers will start reading off questions. And I, for example, will go, what space sector is Hal Jordan? And hopefully someone in the audience will yell out 2814. We will figure out who that person is, and they will hold up a numbered card that we will give when you walk in. And they will then, let's say it's a black 8. We will then put a small piece of chocolate on the black 8 card we have on the table spread out in front of us. The reason I say a black 8 is we're also going to have red numbers. Red will be for nut-free chocolate because some of the stuff I'm bringing will have nuts in it. So trying to cater to everyone here.
Yeah.
And essentially, we will also be keeping track, making little marks so we can count easier. And there will be some people in the audience who are smart-ass comic trivia whizzes. Also up on stage, but also in the audience.
Right, I was going to say, I thought we tried to recruit everybody onto our side. We could.
Mark Waid is still out there somewhere.
Lurking. Yes, all right.
But so there'll be some people in there who will get large piles of chocolate. There'll be some people who get 1 or 2. At the end of the panel, everyone comes up and basically shows their card, and we give them the amount of chocolate on the corresponding card. Now, that is your basic prize. If you place in the top 2nd through 5th in terms of number of pieces of chocolate, we give you an upgrade. Organic chocolate bars, even.
Oh, the more you know, the healthier it gets. Is that right?
Well, yes and no. We're going to try to kill the person who actually wins. I mean, this is my way of keeping us from having repeat winners. Jim bans them. I'm just going to kill them. And the way I'm going to kill them is I'm going to give them this.
Death by chocolate.
A whole pound plus of chocolate to dispose of. Eat, preferably.
Yes. Well, excellent. Then, we will not be in the running for those. So if you want, is that truly a full pound or is it more? Either way,
net weight 17.6 ounces. So 110% of a pound.
Excellent. So more than a pound of chocolate, people. potentially qualifying as never eat anything bigger than your head, but there it is. So, although the head's 8 pounds, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, Tom, you got to give that one away. You do. All right. I never thought I'd say that. But anyway, all right. So, Tom, it'll be great to see you next week at Comic-Con. And here we go. Be ready for those questions, people. 5 o'clock, the Omni Ballroom, some subdivision on Friday, July 22nd. We'll be there. You too.
And this.
And that.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any Fanboy Planet video content. And remember, use your powers for good.